Now that's a very interesting question, quite honestly, because I've never really thought of myself as a leader. As a youngster growing up, I was constantly reminded, don't follow the crowd. And so not following the crowd didn't make me a leader, just meant in my household, I was supposed to make up my own mind. And that's what I tried to do. Following the crowd would have gotten me in trouble. And I didn't consciously not follow the crowd, but if that wasn't what I thought I should be doing, I didn't do it. I've always been a rules follower. That was the biggest thing in our household. Follow the rules, do what you're supposed to do. If you give someone your word, keep your word. Now, I didn't know that would make me a leader, but I certainly knew what I wanted to do. And in fact, what I wanted to do was contrary to what the majority did. That was still cool with me. Other than the fact that the one time my uncle, who's like my father, in fact he was my father figure, he thought I had followed the crowd or done something, that wasn't my own wishes, and I got one of the worst beatings I ever got in my life. So that confirmed in my mind that I was never going to let him think again that I did something that I didn't want to do. Because I wasn't taking another beating like that. But that sticks out in my mind. It really does. That one incident, the couple beatings I got in my life, I knew I couldn't take very many of these. But that's one that really sticks in the back of my mind. The day that I got a beating like that, like I said, it was a beat. It was them parenting in the way, and that's the way they knew how to parent. We talk about spirit of rod and spoil a child, and not in our household. And I realized then that, right, if I'm gonna get another beating like this, I'm gonna do it because I did something, and I did what I wanted to do that day, but I'm not gonna leave any doubt. This is what I wanted to do. And if that's the consequences, so be it. But I'm not gonna let them think that I was following the crowd and take another beating like that. No, that wasn't happening, bro. Who is my life hero? And that person has to be my uncle. What he did for my sisters, my parents were divorced early in our childhood. And my mother's sister, my uncle by marriage, took I'm the middle child between two sisters. There's three of us. And they didn't have any children. And for someone who's not blood relative to take in three children that are not his, but his wife's sister's kids, and provide for us like he's my father, biological father. I look at the magnitude of his heart and the feeling that he must have had for his wife, my auntie, and my mother's sister, to do that, and to set the bar then for what happens to men and how to treat a woman and treat a family. He was my role model. And for that, I walked away last night, yesterday afternoon, after thinking about this. What other hero could I have? Doing nothing. Doing absolutely nothing. I've been busy, active my whole life. If you leave me alone for 5 minutes, I take a nap. I'm just wired, and whenever I come down, I get lost in my own thoughts, thinking about other people. I'm constantly meditating and thinking about people that I haven't talked to, that I need to talk to, something I need to do that I didn't do. So when I have an opportunity to just do nothing, I'll fall asleep just like that. Because my mind is active, and my list of things to do is longer than things I get done. And I enjoy doing nothing. Just listen to song. I like jazz. I have an uncle, my mother's brother, who's deceased now. He used to love jazz, and I couldn't understand jazz because growing up in the '60s, listening to rhythm and blues and music, of the appropriate age group that you like to hear. And as I got older, I started listening to jazz, and I particularly like jazz, smooth jazz, music without lyrics is very soothing to me. And my ear can hear the different instruments, and that just really relaxes me. And I just can fall asleep, doze off, and so just doing nothing just kind of chills me out. Especially in the summertime, if I don't, off from work or finish my household chores and doing what I'm supposed to do, just having a moment to sit on the back porch or the front porch and relax and watch the cars go by. Those are the moments that I really look forward to. How quiet I am. I enjoy listening to other people's thoughts, hearing what's on their mind. I know what's on mine, so I like to listen, absorb. I'm sometimes very opinionated, and sometimes I don't really care because I realize that it's just an opinion. And I try to be open-minded about a lot of things. Some things I am very opinionated about. But at the same point in time, I realize that's one of the privileges that we have in this country, is to have your own opinion. And as long as it doesn't hurt or harm anyone, it's cool. And I try to keep it on a light vibe and be positive, because you can get worn out at what you want to happen or how things, quote unquote, should be. And you realize at a certain age that you have to do the best that you can. And some people you're going to please, and other people are going to be displeased. But at the end of the day, I think you're best served by understanding what's in your own heart, on your own heart and in your own mind. That's who you should be trying to please. My childhood best friend's a friend by the name of Bill Harris. I'm talking to you before we started filming. When we moved from the south side to the Milo Grogan area, I was in the 4th grade, moving into the 5th. I met Bill Harris. He lived on Gilbert, and I lived on 4th. And the alley, one side of the alley was Gilbert, and the side of the alley was 4th. From the alley, right? We found out where each other lived. He lived up the alley, maybe about 5, 6 houses from me, right up the alley and here. So we started hanging out and had common interests, and we've been friends for over almost 60 years.
Those are the good friends.
Yeah. He went to Vietnam, the war. I was fortunate enough I didn't go, but through in fact, I was the best man in his marriage. I had so many close friends that we grew up. At a certain age, a bunch of us started hanging together, and we got so close that it didn't make any difference. You were just close friends. If you saw one, the other 4 or 5 were right behind. And so we've been in each other's weddings and godfathers to each other's children. So it's really been a lifelong friend. Well, I can't dance a lick, but I enjoy dance. I have a daughter that dances her butt off. She's just got the gift. I enjoy watching her dance. My wife is a very good dancer. I like things with rhythm, motion. I think that's one of the things that attracted me to the sport of basketball. The artistry of the fluidity of movement. I grew up early on in the South, and baseball was the sport. But baseball has a different type of rhythm than basketball. I had cousins that played football, and basketball to me, when I started learning how to play, just fulfilled the jumping, the running, the athleticism, and I like that type of motion and movement. When we were younger, playing, we grew up playing not so much tackle football, but tag football. We didn't have a lot of green space, so we grew up in we were literally alley brats. In the days of Columbus, where in the alley they had you went outside and you could light your garbage, and in the wintertime you had these big barrels and you put a lot of paper in there and you poured a little bit of accelerant on it, like that boom, and in between plays you go warm your hands up, put your warm hoodies on, and we played football all year long. Baseball, softball, tag football. Somebody had a garage. We put a makeshift rim on it. If you hit two in a row, you had to go back and have a ladder. You go nail it back up. So that's the type of neighborhood that we had. And somebody hear a ball bouncing, they just stop and go find out who's bouncing the ball, who's outside playing. And that's the type of rhythm and motion and movement that I learned. Hopping fences and climbing trees. That's the type of background we just had. And that's the type of movement and things that we like to do. And we were really hung out together. One side of the alley, the other side of the alley, just get together and play. So that's the type of movement and fun that we had as youngsters growing up. I like cobblers, like from the South, blackberry cobblers, blueberry cobblers, apple cobblers. My auntie could cook her butt off, and so I like cobblers and pies as opposed to cakes. I'm a cookie monster, chocolate chip cookies. I have a sweet tooth, unashamedly, and that. Scoop of vanilla ice cream on blackberry cobbler, blueberry cobbler, apple cobbler, or pie. At night, even to this day, chocolate chip cookies, a glass of milk before I go to bed. It is what it is. And one of the things that I didn't learn this quote. I became a head coach at Youngstown State University, and we had a strength and conditioning guy. And he'd get angry, upset, motivated, and he'd tell the group something that, this is over 20-some years ago, but it stayed with me a long while, obviously. He said that you can have a map and a compass and still be lost if you don't know where you are. So I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And then the longer I was with him, that was obviously one of his favorite quotes. Then I started to digest and process what he was actually saying. He's telling a group that they didn't know what they were doing because they wasn't really putting their heart and souls into it. So they didn't know where they were. And consequently, they weren't going to achieve the goals of becoming bigger, stronger, quicker, more athletic because they weren't putting their hearts and souls into it. So as he would rattle that off I say, okay, now what are they doing? What are they not doing? They weren't being compliant. They weren't taking this seriously because they didn't know where they were. They were just out there. So they had to get grounded. So right. So if you don't know where you are in life, if you don't have a goal as to where you want to go, you're just lost in space. So it sounds like it's actually very intuitive. You're telling them, hey, basically got your head up your butthole.
Right.
You better, hey, come on down here and figure out what you want, give yourself some direction. You got the tools, but you don't know how to apply it. So you can have a map and a compass and still be lost if you don't know where you are. Well, I got this late in life, and it's not mine. I copied this, as most things do. Most teachers, coaches, you hear something, that's pretty good, and so I copied this, and I'll read it to you. It's about teaching and being an educator. But once again, we can teach in a lot of ways. You don't have to be a physical classroom teacher. A parent is a teacher. Your uncles and your cousins that you're older, they're teaching you sometimes what to do and sometimes what not to do. But here you go. A mediocre teacher talks and tells. The good teacher explains. The superior teacher demonstrates. The great teacher inspires. So one of the things that I hope to do in my teaching career, I want to inspire other people. I want to inspire my pupils, people I'm around. I just don't want to be mediocre. I just don't want to be good. I want to be inspirational. So that's what's one of my goals, is to inspire you to be a better you, because that's what I'm trying to work on, is make myself a better me. Don't give up on yourself. Every day is not going to be a banner day, and every day is not going to be a day that's celebratory. You have to learn to balance those days off. And if you didn't have a good day yesterday, it doesn't mean you won't have a great day today. And if you had a great day today, it doesn't mean you're going to repeat it. But your job is, hopefully, it's not even a job. It's an outlook on life as far as I'm concerned. It's just do the best you can every day. Do the best you can every day. That has been my mantra since I probably was 15. I'd look in the mirror just before I go to bed, and I'd kind of rerun what happened to me that day, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I say, okay, if it was a good day, let's try our best to repeat it. If it wasn't such a good day, put that in the rearview mirror. Today doesn't have to be like yesterday. So we're not in that. And if it's a good day, okay, boom. Try to give some consistency to your life, your being, and enjoy it. I carried papers until the first day of my senior year in high school. I didn't want to go through my senior year in high school being the paper boy. And because that was my goal, I saved up, I had an older sister. And I knew about class pictures, class dues. I figured out how much I was going to spend on the prom and different activities. I saved all my Christmas money because in our house, getting each one a present for Christmas is a big thing. So I did all the math that I could do and put my money where this was a planned event now. And because it was planned, I wanted to make sure I had enough to support me, what I wanted to do. and putting gas in my uncle's car, and let me borrow it if I want to go some places. So I had all this stuff calculated because I really wanted to enjoy my senior year. I just didn't want. I wanted my senior year to be enjoyable. I wanted to sit back and know that I had all my bases covered, and that was what I would say. Boom. In the 10th grade, I heard, plan your work and work your plan. That became very significant in my life. That's been one of the things that also has stepped with me since the 10th grade. What do you want to do with your life? Plan it out. And guess what? You can't plan it to the nth degree, but you can do, give yourself some foreshadowing. Couldn't go with the wrong group, wrong crowd, because if I got called downtown, I could sit in the back of a paddy wagon, my ass was grass. So once again, you got decisions you have to make. Think for yourself. So all these things that if I had any doubt, I remember that beating that guy when I was about the 4th grade. I said, I can't take very many of these. So these are things that I can reflect back on. You got choices. So evaluate your choices and make good choices. And sometimes my choice was not to go my own direction. Now, that didn't make, my partner sometimes said, well, we're going to have a good time. We'll have a good time. I got something else I do. It be it homework or whatever I need to do, chores that I left unfinished. I took a break and I need to finish up, or planning my day for tomorrow. Or, it is what it is. And we grew up like that. When I say we, the little group I talked about early on that we hung together, there's about 5 of us. And if somebody had something to do, hey, we'll see you later. Go do what you got to do. There's no jealousy. I was thinking, I use the word punk, because that's how guys talk. You're punk. Call me punk. I got something else I need to do. And when I started dating, she got you whipped. You can't do nothing about it. You can't make your own choice. Well, I like it. I like her company. I like your company too. Her company's different. So these are things that, once again, I learned early on that my choices weren't going to please everybody and everyone. But that was okay with me because I was trying to please the people. First, I was trying to please myself, but that was cool. And then please, my mother, my auntie, my uncle, people that I lived with. Boom, those people, right, you're important, but I'm living with these people. So these are choices, right, early on. Boom, between that and that, right, I like you, but I live here. And these are their rules. So, up to the point I was, 17 years old, and curfew in Columbus was, 11 o'clock? I obeyed that curfew until I was a freshman in college. Because I was a young, I turned 17 my freshman year. So I was still 16 until I turned, boom, I'm in college now. But even though you're in college, curfew is this. So I've always been a rules follower. Because I didn't like the beatings that I knew that could be down the road. So hey, and that's confusion. It's useless because it can be avoided. Come on. So that's the way, come making choices. Some, okay, this is not worth the headache. This is not the fussing and the cussing and the, just do the right thing. So do the right thing. My parents moved from North Carolina to Cleamons, Ohio, in their words, to give us a better opportunity in life. When I say give us, I mentioned the fact that I'm the middle child between 2 sisters. They got their wish. My older sister is a retired attorney here in Cleamons. My baby sister is a retired Spanish teacher, professor. She speaks Spanish like I attempt to speak English, and at the collegiate level. And I'm very proud of them. And they were my challenge to keep up with them academically and socially in my own household. And I just wanted a college education. I wanted to be able, because I knew my sisters had to go to school. They were so academically bright, and I wanted to go to college. I felt I could use a college education to better my station in life. And once I found out that you could get both an academic education scholarship and you could also get an athletic scholarship, I thought the best way for me to do is kind of hedge my votes and bets and try and get an academic education, get an athletic education, and let somebody else pay for my college education, because I knew I would like to have one.
Right.
So this is one of the things that I did in life, and that's what I wanted from basketball, was the opportunity to get a college education. And God blessed me in ways that have been immeasurable. And I feel so extremely fortunate to have the life that I've been fortunate enough to live and partake of. I've been smiled upon. And one of the things I try to do is continue to give forward to other young people that have dreams, hopes, and try to help them fulfill their dreams and hopes through working, dedication, just doing the right thing. Put yourself in position to win and do the best that you can. But what I used to tell myself every day, I still tell myself the same thing. Do the best you can. Do the best. Everything that you do it to the best of your ability. You don't know where that's going to take you. You don't know who's watching you do what you can do. And you're not going to be successful in everything. They got plenty of failures. Didn't work out the way, not necessarily failures, but I wanted to do a little bit better. And I wanted a second chance. And guess what? You get second chances sometimes. The chance to keep achieving. Because people see that in you, that you didn't quit. You wanted it, you kept after it. And it makes a mark. They'll talk about, hey, so-and-so has, it builds character. When you walk around, you don't get your way everything you want to do. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm disappointed, but that's no reason to quit. That's no reason to pout. That's no reason to get upset. Boom. Hopefully there'll be another chance. But you keep doing it. You keep working. You keep going. One of my favorite sayings was, hey, kick the can down the road. Sometimes you don't kick very well. You step your toe. It goes over this way. It goes over. Sometimes, boom, that boy went about 15 yards down that way. How did he get down there? Well, you kicked it there. When you get down there, kick it again. Right. This work. Find out what works for you. What works for you doesn't always work for me, and vice versa. But you have to realize that you are unique. And you got to take that. You got to mold that. You got to find out what skills the Creator has given to you and apply them to your life. Speak from your heart. There's a reason we got one mouth, two eyes, two ears. But speak from your heart. When your heart and your mind are in concert, you can't be defeated. So find out what that is. Find out that path. That's the path you want. Path that your heart and your mind said that's the way to go. Yeah, jump on that path. That's where
That's good stuff.
truly lies.
So basketball, you mentioned you were a head coach.
Yeah, I've been head coach at both the collegiate level and also the professional level. So I've been fortunate. I've had opportunities. So unfortunately, I haven't had enough time to develop the talent that I had, and my talent didn't have enough time to understand how I teach. So you got to do it right now, or you're not successful. That hurts, especially when you know what you can do, but you got to have the time to prove it. See, and sometimes other people, they're in a hurry. And they want it done lickety-split right now. And you can't build a proper program like that unless you really have some outstanding talent that other people have just misjudged and misused. But if you're trying to grow a team You need time. And a lot of owners, a lot of athletic directors, they're in a hurry. And they use you up and throw you away like you're yesterday's newspaper. And that's what you have to understand going in. That you can't please everyone all the time. But you have to, once again, hopefully you give it your best shot.